You've probably heard there are a lot of great running trails in the Hunter region, but have you heard of running tails? Those tails are attached to the dogs who run with their owners as part of the Tail Runners dog running group. These dog owners run with their canine counterparts for a very special reason. With 120,000 working dogs put down on a yearly basis due to there being not enough owners to keep them fit and healthy, this group allows the dogs to get out and active. This Sunday, the Tail Runners will host their annual Dash, Dawdle and Dogathon in Dungog, of course. To find out more about the group, 1233's intern Ben Homer decided to go for a run with Karen Barrett, the founder of Tail Runners, and her trusty companions Pace and Cadence.
Well, it was born out of the passion of my running with my dog, and I just thought, well, because I love it so much, surely other people would love it as much. I really would like to be able to marry up people that are interested in running and fitness with rescue dogs. So trying to get, like the right rescue dog with the right runner, that sort of thing. So hopefully that will actually happen.
How many dogs do you have? We've got 2 here today.
I have 3 dogs. The French Bulldog at home is not much of a runner, but this is Cadence, and Cadence is a Kelpie. And I drove 4 hours each way to get Cadence. I actually drove 4 hours to get this other dog, but this other dog didn't want to have a bar of me. So Cadence was in the cage, and she got my attention and virtually begged me to take her home. So I was like, oh, geez, all right, okay. And best decision I ever made.
So Cadence is sort of a light brownish colour?
Yeah, fawn they call that.
And your other dog?
And this one's Pace. So I've had Pace for about 4 months now. Pace is a Kelpie Cross staghound, and she's full of beans. She did have a pretty rough start to life, and she's put on about 10 kilos, so she was painfully thin when I first got her, and petrified of everything, absolutely scared of everything, terrified. But
now she's jumping all over me.
She's come along in leaps and bounds. She's amazing. So Pace is extremely good at speed work, and Cadence is really good for endurance. So the longest distance that Cadence has been on is around 60 kilometres, and Pace is now up to 45 kilometres in one day. So
I must say, I do love the names going with the running, but I do want to ask you, the fitness of these dogs, how do you build them up to being able to run that much?
Just like we need to build up with our running, you have to do the same with your dog, and you really need to know your dog. So know when your dog needs to stop, know when your dog needs to, have a drink, that sort of thing. I actually choose trails where I know where there's a permanent water source, and I know how far it's going to take me to get to that water source, and I make sure that we stop and have a swim and have a drink and that, when we get to those waters. Cadence also has a backpack as well, so if we need to, she can carry her own food and water.
And you've got this double, it's a double lead that then connects to your waist.
That's
so
right.
Do you want to just describe that? It was your own creation as well.
Yeah, so when I first started running with Cadence, I was holding onto the lead in my hand, and she got terrified one day of it. I think it was a truck or a bus or something went past, and she scooted out onto the road, and the lead came straight out of my hand, and I was absolutely beside myself. And and I thought there had to be a better way, so I came up with a belt system and that, and works amazingly. I'm absolutely stoked with it. I know there are a couple of other different designs and that on the market, but then I ended up with Pace as well, so then I needed a double lead, and and I actually find this to be the best way running with a dog. So they're not ripping my shoulder out of my socket and that sort of thing. And these girls have learnt as well that when we're running, to mostly stay on my left. So if we're running uphill, they need to be either in front of me or beside me, and when we're going downhill, they need to be either beside me or behind me. I did to my veterinary level 1 a few years ago, and I was doing some work experience with the RSPCA, and they were nicknamed dollar dogs or dime a dozen dogs because there were so many of them coming through with behavioural problems, being stuck in a small yard and just bored. So over 120,000 dogs in Australia are put to sleep each year, and over 60,000 of those are working dog breeds because they need the most amount of exercises. Same with the Kelpie or the working dog. People think they're, beautiful Australian working dog, but yeah, unfortunately aren't prepared to put the amount of work and that into them, and they do end up with behavioural problems when they're stuck in small backyards.
Now, as we can see, your dogs here, they're going for a sniff into the bush. Whenever you're running, if they get a scent, do they go after it?
No, these girls actually know that their job is to run. So when we yes, we do often go for a walk in the bush, and they know that when we're walking and off lead, they can do whatever they want. They can run around and sniff and that sort of thing. But when we're running, it is their job, and they need to concentrate.
Well, Karen, we'll go for a run back. Thanks so much for talking to us here on 12:33.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Tail runners, that was 12:33's intern Ben Homer speaking to Karen Barrett from the running group Tail Runners. They run on Wednesdays at 5:30 from the start of the Blue Gum Hills Park Run at Minmai, and from 2 p.m. on Sunday from Kevin Edwards Oval on Apple Tree Road, Holmesville. All running abilities are welcome. The Tail Runners will also host their annual Dungog Dash, Dawdle and Dogathon on the 7th of August. That's soon. What is it today? The 4th. That's in Dungog. There are 6, 12 and 22 kilometre events on offer.